welcome back to Praggers Gaming. I'm Gamer Praggers, and this is Citizen Sleeper. Now, in the last episode, we right at the very end, at the start of this turn cycle, we bought a drink to up the regular, and we also assisted with some ship designing, shipbuilding. Now, I'm going to get this to use up the 3. Gave us a keynote. I don't think I need that though. And we don't have the cipher. So we've got our chaser following us in the next one. We still need to find a ship mind. So I think what we're going to do is do this one. And we've got a scrap item, which is good, because what we can do is we can come up here to the auto exchange and we can sell that scrap item. We've got trusted trader and we've got some more cryo. Now, it's not enough to get us a vial of stabilizer, but we are going to need to save up for that. So for now, all we can really do is sleep and end the cycle, and we'll see what tomorrow will bring. I say tomorrow, I mean the next cycle. Okay. Hold it there, sleeper, comes a voice from behind you. Don't you run. Good, good. A hand pats down your coat down. You know your master's voice. Ethan spins you around. He's wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he is terrible news. You got all the way out here and then stayed put. He laughs a cruel laugh. That a sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has levelled at your chest, and it's hard to take your eyes off it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring out from a belt loop, without taking his eyes off you. Making it to the eye, though. That's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contracts out of asteroid caves or off of godforsaken moons. He splits the rings into 2 perfect circles. It's hard to hit. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. Who are you? Just a freelancer on a contract. He reaches over to slide the rings around your wrists. Go easy. Good. You got the idea. He grins. It's over. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles. Eat going easy. You stumble down the corridor, your hands behind you, your mind racing. We can work this out. Can we? I don't see much in the way of assets in your possession. Ethan yaws and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to S and up right away. That tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you'd put up a bit more of a chase, you know? A running battle through the bright market, maybe? Or a holdout in the low end. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I asked around. You walk on in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That S&R tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I have an idea. Ethan interrupts your thoughts. How about on the way back to the ship we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. I have a better idea. This better not be one of those where you do a dramatic pause and then try to jump me, because I'm pretty tired of that. Although, muses Ethan, I've got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we're heading for the exit. He pauses, and you trudge on in silence. Okay, here's the idea, starts Ethan. You and me, we make a little agreement. Here are the terms. He turns to face you. You run, or leave, or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot, or scheme, you try to kill me, I shoot you. But, he smiles, you come meet me at an establishment of my choice every few cycles, and you pay my tab, I don't shoot you. He pauses. You don't pay my tab, he rattles his handgun. You get the idea. I get it. Okay then, that sounds to me like a deal. He stretches. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks something in his belt and the rings release from your wrists. I'm going to see if I can find my old stool at the Compressor Club. Come see me there. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sights. Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker, so don't even think about leaving the eye. I'll know. Ethan turns and strides off down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? Well, so we have a new drive. We need mushrooms. So here's the Compressor Club. Ethan's tab. We've got 4 cycles before we have to pay that. Okay, so 16 cryo would get us a drink and some rations, or 15 for fungus. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, what to do? Right, let's not end the cycle. We want to go to Dragos's yard. No. Let's do that. And we got a scrap item. Oh, ship mind. Oh, that's good. But I'm going to assist the shipbuilder. Okay, that gets us yard hand completed. Okay, Lem and Mina. And unit assembly. Can we... Okay. So we do have A+. So we are going to put in the 2, which makes it a 3 for systems fitting. And we got 12 cryo. Nice. But let's go and meet fragment supply. A sophisticated tech have to pay for ship mine fragments they can dismantle and reuse. A slate of the office advertises that Havenage are looking for informants on gang activity in the Eye. They'll pay. But we don't have a Yatagan data. Let's meet Lemon Mina. From the walkway, the side real horizon looks impossible, possibly vast. A landscape of plating and frames all along her flanks. Torches flicker, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale of industry is both stunning and strangely unsettling. She's quite beautiful, I think. You turn to see a figure a little way down the walkway, leaning at the rail. He is thin, ragged, his work gear poorly fitting and loose. The torches of the side reel horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. Lem. He leans back from the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out at the ship. And this is Mina. He adds with a smile. Hi, Mina. She stares and tucks herself behind Lem, who dutifully picks her up. She's a little slow to trust, aren't you, Mina? She buries her face in the folds of his overalls. Mina looks out from Lem's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You working on her then? Lem asks, eagerly, gesturing to the vast ship. or just admiring. He shifts Mina's weight to his other arm. Admiring. Understandable, he nods, gazing back out at the sidereal horizon. You like her too, don't you, Mina? He jostles her a little. She's Mina's and my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to speak. The ship? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes a havenage contract on the sidereal horizon will get entered into a draw for the transit support crew. He smiles. We won't get to sleep the journey, though, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina if it means landfall on the new world. He winks. Transit support? Uh-huh. Someone needs to stay awake to keep the thing running. He straightens up, stretching his back. That's a colony ship, friend. The Celius Foundation is sending thousands to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be totally independent. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. Why is it here? Why build it here, you mean? He grins. Don't ask me. I know as much as Mina about that. He ruffles Mina's hair thoughtfully. I suppose many corporations weren't too happy about breaking the idea of surrogacy, setting up somewhere without it feeding back to the core. Maybe Celius got locked out of the corporate shipyards and had to go begging for somewhere to set up. Homeless. Just like me and Mina. Mina responds by pushing his hand away. Daddy, she whispers. Food. Pulling an exaggerated grumpy face, she glances furtively at you as she plays with a nice set of dog tags that hang from Lem's neck. I'm just chatting a little, Meanie. Give Daddy a sec. He turns back to you, and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Havenage crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. For sure. He looks out at the sidereal horizon as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hull. We've got to hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he's talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eye curiously. You agree, Mina? She straightens up and meets your eye. Daddy loves me. She says it stubbornly, daring you to question her. Lem smiles and lifts Mina. That's it. We hold on. He smiles sheepishly at you. We're just a couple of softies. Isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns. They walk down the walkway away from the shipyard. You see them talking, and then a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot. Her shout echoes down the walkway, and she flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lem. You watch them a little before you turn back to the impossible scale of the sidereal horizon. A ticket out. Okay. Right. So we have started working on that. The merchant freighter, there's nothing there. But that's gone on the next turn. And we've got that next. Right. Seeing as we have some more money, let's get a drink. And we are now a regular. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt! The spacer calls across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human? You haunch a little further, staring at the hundreds of tiny impact points that scar the bar's surface. A hand falls on your shoulder, but as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out! The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into hard vacuum. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. You reach up a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Through the haze of glass and gyrol vapour, you see Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm, and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it's cleared and a fresh measure of grill is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops onto the stool beside you. Let's get a look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol in a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. That was an ambitious catch, she smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the sting of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick synthetic skin for splinters. Tala works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer tips in the little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So, you been on the island long? Just arrived. I thought so. I've only seen you a couple of times. A splinter clinks into the tin. Not everyone is like that, idiot. We don't all hate spaces. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place, trust me. She meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything or separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we've got aren't much and the company is limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar. And if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the Greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, sleeper. Here. She slides the glass of grill to you. This'll help. She stops, her hand still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't sit here too long. I hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does, and before long is retelling how she threw the spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the griot. The earthy fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old, feels good. Okay, so we've got a new friend. And we can now work a bar shift. Tala is good as her word and happy to throw a shift or two your way. The pay isn't great, but tips can make all the difference. Okay, so let's end this cycle. Because I think what we need to do at the moment is we need to save up for that stabilizer. Because we are going to run out of dice. Those are not great dice. Right. Unit assembly. I'm sure there was somewhere that we could exchange. Right, let's put one of these in. Okay. Right, dock C4. Okay, so we're waiting on something there. Sealed dock. We need the full ship mind. It's risky. Hey, nice. Okay. Scrap freighter. No, we need that. Okay. Alt exchange. Compressor club, there's nothing to do there yet. And we can't do anything there because we need the 100 cryo. Okay, let's have a look what we got here. Yataghan agent. No. Keynode. So there's one there. Havenage agent. Yeah. Havenage agent. So we got 2 Havenage agents. So let's... We got 5 cryo for that. And we've got Havenage data. Okay. So let's start that. Gate H4 access. I don't know what that's done. Oh, there we go. Havenage port H33. Oh, there we go. We can slot the Ripper worm in. Shipyard server slotted. So, I think, yeah, there. We now got to wait 3 for Feng. Finish offices. Let's put 1 in and see what we get. 30 cryo. Right. That gives us the stabilizer. But I can't remember if we use it straight away. No. Okay. As quickly as you leave the As you quickly leave the surgery, eager to be away from Toshiro's glare, you notice something wrapped around the stabilizer vial, clutched tightly in your hand. You open your hand, and a thin film, marked with holes and sigils, unrolls from around the vial. At one end is a hard metal strip, a handle. Inspect the film. You hold the cloudy film up to the light. It is perforated with an ornate pattern of holes. You can make out a word among the markings. Passkey. Is this an entry key for somewhere? The metal handle is worn and pitted, but you can see a set of numbers imprinted on it. 207F. And then crudely scratched into the handle, at some later date, low end. For a moment, you consider going back to the surgery to return the key, and then quickly think better of it. Did Sabine want you to have this, or is Toshiro passing on a message? Time to head to the low end and find out. We've got an upgrade point. Good news. Okay. So, thrill seeking, a chance to gain energy after any engage action. Predictive reasoning. Display potential positive and negative outcomes. Agent gives you double data rewards. Oh, but we've only got the 1 upgrade point. Now we could save it. Or yeah, I think we're going to take that. Okay, so we do have Okay. Ah, so we... Okay. Scrap freighter. 20... Oh, the pass key, the stabilizer. Okay. But there isn't anything we can do just yet. So let's end the cycle. Because I vaguely remember having somewhere that we can turn ship mine fragments into... Ooh. Into... an actual ship mine. Right. Okay. So yard clearance and winter light +2. So we could put the 5 in, and that will complete winter light. And we got a scrap item. Nice. Squeezed into the office at the entrance to the yard, you lay out everything you have on the winter light. Across the metal desk, your makeshift forensic notes glow on Dragus' old writing slate, overlapping lines and scrawled annotations. A set of drone scans fill the small terminal with a spectrum of colours, a heat map of damage and decay. A crumpled printout from the office's ship registry lies beside them, synthetic paper so thin it's almost transparent. Reactor failure. That is the verdict that anyone would have returned after a cursory glance at these stacked heat maps of the remains of the winter light. On the terminal screen, the ship is shown in section, blotches of colour marking the approximate damage the ship sustained. Dominating the view is a single blood-red rose radiating from the ship's fraction drive. A simple story, a catastrophic failure of the drive core leading to a fatal hull breach. A well-documented failure, likely brought on by wear or misuse. But you aren't looking at the rose of the reactor. You are looking at a smaller, paler mark, one that might be easy to miss at first glance. It is thumbprint-sized and delicately placed over the control servos for the ship's main external airlock. It suggests a controlled, shaped explosion, one designed to punch through the hull and allow access to the airlock from the outside. You are looking at it because it is troubling you. Your attempts at a reconstruction of the winter light before its fatal accident consists of a series of overlapping sketches and diagrams showing possible layouts and configurations of the gutted cutter. This was no off-the-shelf model. It was heavily modified, parts replaced with inventive configurations, the new retrofitted into the old, handmade joints and reconditioned filters. This was someone's pride and joy, a lifetime project kept running with care and intuition. It also contained a set of hidden compartments. You missed them at first, where the hull had been thickened, the corners rounded to disguise the change, but they are there. A plain list shows the registration history of the winter light, the gap between the entries tantalizingly opaque. Its first registration was a couple of thousand cycles ago on this very station, logged at the central hub. From here, the registry tells the story of a busy ship, one that rarely stayed on station for more than a few cycles, and often took on voyages that kept it away from the eye for up to 100 cycles. The winter light got little rest. An old ship, many cycles under its belt, carefully maintained. A reactor failure preceded by a carefully concealed external entry. A suite of hidden compartments, tucked away. This was the winter light, and this was its story. But that's not the full story, because there's something else. It is little more than a list, a tiny chunk of data you were able to pull from the ship's systems. The main systems were fried, of course, but the Winterlight had a separate system, one tucked away in one of its hidden compartments, armoured, air-walled. This list, the only recoverable piece from the whole system, is a partial inventory. It details the contents of the hidden compartments. Some of it you recognise, some of it you don't. Shipmind ROMs, shimmer, cryo-chain codes. And then the final entry, passenger, sleeper. You stare at the list on the terminal and try not to think about what it was like arriving here in the cold for so long, half frozen in the freight container. Had this sleeper been smarter, luckier? How would they convince the Winter Light, a smuggler's ship if you ever saw one, to extract them from S&R? Luckier, you laugh. There had been no remains found in any of the Winter Light's compartments. You had checked. They weren't so lucky, you guess. Not in the end. You hold up a vial of stabilizer to the light. This was all you could find in their compartment, a parting gift from S&R. Well, it won't go to waste now. You put it in your pocket. The thought still bothers you though. 2 ships carrying sleepers coming into the same yard. 2, one after the other. That feels wrong. You flick back and forth between datasets on the terminal thinking, and you see that thumbprint again. The mark of someone trying to get in, someone who entered the Winter Light with precision and speed, and when they were done, left the reactor to clean up the rest. The thought of that person makes you shiver. Suddenly, the office door creaks open. Dragos stands in the doorway, staring at the equipment and notes you've assembled. "What's all this?" He snatches the slate from the desk, faster than you realised he could move. "You running an investigation here? What am I paying you for?" The drone on his shoulder starts whining shrilly, his anger passing it through his implants. Where is this shit from? "Leave this alone!" He starts shaking his head. "I know you have a lot of questions, but this isn't the way." He turns away, muttering to himself. "This is the last thing I need." This ship had a sleeper on it. Suddenly angry. "What did you say?" He pushes past you to look at the terminal at the list. He shakes his head. "So what? Aren't all of you trying to escape? You are lucky it was you that made it out alive, not them." He folds his arm indignantly. Dragos seems to steady himself and then turns back to you, the heat map of the reactor failure reflected in his headset's glassy eyes. "I've given you a place to stay. I've given you work. He stumbles over the words, unsure what to say. "There's plenty others who would have sold you on, turned you in. But no, not me." "I know." He softens. "Look, you've helped me too." He quiets the drone. "I've done well by you, and you've returned the favour." He straightens up and clears his throat. "But this obsession you have with this ship isn't going to work for me. I can't have you making my clients nervous. I can't have you digging up whatever it is you were after." He sighs. "You can't work here anymore." "I need the work." "There's plenty of work to be had on the Eye. Salvagers need offloads in the Rotunda, and Yatigan are always looking for crew. I'm not the only show in town." Dragos reaches across you and flicks off the terminal. As the light of the monitor dies, a kind of eerie calm falls on both of you. Whatever this was, it is done. "You made it out, Sleeper. That means you have to move on." "Someone killed that ship and its crew." "And you want to meet them?" He shakes his head. "We're done here." In the dark, Dragos' headset glints, and you wish for a moment you could see his eyes and meet them. Maybe then he would understand. You get up from the desk and Dragos gathers the notes, stuffing them into a pocket of his overalls. He holds the door for you, his headset as expressionless as always. "You can stay in the container. I won't take that from you." "Don't come back." His tone is final, definite. With an edge of disappointment, you walk out of the office and then out of the yard, not stopping to look back. You leave the yard, thumbing the vial in your pocket, knowing that this at least guarantees you a little more time. And as you walk, your mind once again drifts to that person who killed the Winter Light, and whether or not that person will come for you. Oh, another upgrade point. Right. I think we're going to save this one. Just again, yeah, we're going to save it. Okay, so we have 2 more dice to use. We can't do anything with Feng. Right, let's have a look. Unit assembly. Safe. Okay. Right, let's put in the 3. And that should get us 12 cryo. And put 2 on systems tech. That's good. Right, Havenage offices. No. That gives us 30. What's in here? We can buy scrap, which we can sell. Let's buy some scrap. Okay. $15 cryo. We could do a shift at the bar. Or exchange. We need to sell the 2 components. Okay. Which has completed Trusted Trader. The Ort Fabricator. There it is. And that's how we can get the ship mined. But we still need 1 more piece. And then another 3. But... yeah. Yeah, we can't afford to go through low end. We've still got 2 cycles before we have to pay that. So what, we can do 15 or we can do 19. Let's go for that. And we've got the 19 cryo. Okay. We are going to order fungus because we need the energy. There we go. And then to end this cycle, we are going to use a stabilize. Because that will give us all 5 dice in the next cycle. Now, that is where we're going to end it. This episode. So we're going to end with ending the cycle. And we will have things to do in the next episode. Okay, so we've got some okay dice. We do have some okay dice, so we could... Village offices, that's just... yeah. Okay. Yeah. We could buy... Alt exchange, sell components, or play the exchange. Now we've got the 6, so we could get 19 more. That's the ship mined. Fangs Bay we can complete in the next one. Let's have a look. So that's Ripper Worms, okay. But what else have we got? Okay, so we can do at least a hack. Okay, so we've got the 1 and the 2 we can use. So we could make a fair amount of money. But yeah. Oh, exchange. It doesn't say how much you get from selling that. Because we do need to get into low end, which is 60 credits. But we do have his tab to pay in the next cycle. But that's all for the next episode. Thank you for hanging out. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, ticking the bell so you know when new videos go live. In the description is a link to the channel Discord. Feel free to come and talk about the games you're playing, the games I'm playing, games in general, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!